Why should or must the SoCal community attend the Dinner with Friends play at the Zephyr Theater?
Number one, because you'd be missing some phenomenal acting work. Number two, because the production is hardly ever done, and for a good reason. It was written to be on almost I would say, 500 plus seat stage with a rotating stage with electricians and 6 grips to change the sets within 3 minutes, and major huge spaces for openness as opposed to walls for part of the scene, and then enclosure other parts. So doing it at a Zephyr theater, a 99-seat theater, you're either going to love me or hate me, and that's okay. I think there's a commercial like that, isn't there? Where the guy goes, "You're going to love it, Larry," or something. So I think that's a big part of it, is just for the physical aspect of putting this play on, and I guess the audacity of my producer to say that I can do it. I'm not sure if he's a genius or if he's crazy for thinking I can pull this off. But again, I'm blessed with the crew to help me do this. And then the last reason is, I used to love Melrose Avenue. My revival of my directing career in LA was with a very successful nominated and winning play called Savage in Limbo that I did with quite a cast that all went on. I think only one actor didn't get a television series after we did it. And it's going back a number of years. So I got a special place in my heart for the Zephyr. And my mentor, a guy by the name of Milton Katselis, started his acting classes in that space way back when, I think in the early 70s or mid 70s. So there's a kind of a personal reason to support it, as well as the owner, Ronnie Momo and Markel Lerman, who I think have been wonderful theater supporters, producers along the way. And, you go there, there's great little cafes and restaurants right across the street that could use the business. As I said, I think we've all just kind of went back in the cave. I want people to come back out. I'm a Chicago, New Yorker, Milanese, Greek, Cuban person that loves being outside on the street, interacting, watching people. And sometimes it's sad for me to see that we don't do that anymore, or at least not enough. Hi, my name is Peter Allas. I am the director and producer of Dinner with Friends at the Zephyr Theater on Melrose Avenue, running Thursday through Saturday at 8 p.m., Sundays at 2. Come check it out. You can't miss it. Or why don't you hear what I have to say to find out more?
The theater experience, why is it such a unique format, both the actors and the audience experience in it?
Well, I have my answer why I direct, which is connected to it, but let me answer directly your question. I think theater is everything. I think it's a temple, it's a church, it's a mosque, it's a communal place, it's an indoor camp for people to all get along and share things with. And back in the days, way back when, it was the evening. There was no cell phones and laptops like we're on now, and you name it. That was the chance for people to leave their homes wherever they were and journey into the city and have this communal experience of sharing and energy, whatever the case may be. And it was quite a long evening. We're all spoiled from the internet and going at our watches. Oh, this plays over an hour. My God. I grew up on theater 3 hours with 2 intermissions. So that was part of the experience. I think people still seek, especially now, after COVID and a lot of what we've experienced in terms of emotionally in this country for many years. I think people need that to hold on to something, be with people. Forgive me, my answer, though, my answer is I want people to come to the theater and laugh, think, cry, feel, and then hopefully talk and share.
For those who aren't familiar with the play, tell us about the main characters and the story arc for Dinner with Friends.
Sure, we'll give it what they call the Cliff Notes version in college. So you have 2 couples, Gabe and Karen, which obviously seem like the wonderfully perfect couple with a nice house, fun job, travels in life, and all this seems good. And you have the other couple, which I don't want to reveal too much the plot itself, but basically are also a very good-looking and charming and successful couple, but there's issues going on. And I think this play shows 2 different sides of not just marriage, relationship of the man and woman. It could be woman and woman or man and man. It could also be just simply your best friend, what's going on. And are you willing to really look inside to either fix something or is the relationship has always been on the surface? That's just one aspect of it. And me personally, I think the subliminal plot of this is loneliness. And I think that everybody can relate, like I said, after the pandemic, to loneliness. So I think it's timely. And I think that's why we're lucky and fortunate. We've been given the rights of the first revival of it as equity production.
And you go into like I think you might have covered it, but the main themes of Dinner with Friends.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, relationship, friendship, solitude, big part of it. And also, what's really going to make us happy inside? What is it? Are we willing to go for that? Sometimes it's ugly to get to that journey. You know, someone told me once, when you're going through a tough time, the way out of something is the way through it. There's no getting around it. Remember when we were a kid, we were told, don't take shortcuts because it never works out. So you got to do the work. And then when you go through the work, you're like, wow. But I guess the work to some people is different than others.
Tell us about the actors in the Dinner with Friends who are bringing this version alive.
Well, now you hit my sweet spot. I've been blessed with a producer and casting director named Michael Donovan and his associate Richie Ferris, who've worked with me on several productions now. And as we say, knock on wood, has been great. And I feel that this is one of the most talented casts I've ever worked with. The challenge of this has been the actual staging of the play. The actors have been the joy. And I know because I've done my share of acting, so I'm lucky to have quite a pool of talent. Let's start with Jack ESFORMES, who plays Gabe. This is my fourth production with him, 4 of the last 5. Multi-talented actor who can be very comedic and also very heart-wrenching and also a little bit of a dangerous kind of bad dude. Easy. Oh, I got my lovely buddy here joining me. So come on, Sonny, give me a break. And then basically, so he's like the anchor. He's my anchor. Then I have another woman who I've acted with and I've directed. She was in our cast of God of Carnage, MARIEH DELFINO. And another joy to work with as a human being, as an actress, all the above. So I've got 2 actors of Latin descent, which makes this play already a little bit different. Jack is of a Sephardic Latin descent, and MARIEH from South America. I believe it's Venezuela and Cuba. And then Amy MOTTA, who is also, or MOTTA, depending if you're American pronunciation. I prefer the Italian one, even though she's not Italian. She's just a joy. She was in the last production I did, which was Farragut North, working with Beau Willimon on that. And that was also with Jack. And this is quite a departure, I think, for her because it really gives her quite a range of emotion to work from. Then last but not least is a wonderful new actor to what I call the Peter Allas cast and crew of characters, is now part of my wonderful family, who I saw in a play called Citizen with a wonderful actress named Lisa Pesha, directed by Shirley Jo Feeney, rest in peace. And he always stuck in my mind. I love the truth that he brought to the work. And let me just start by saying he's a key anchor of reality and truth in the work, which is a pleasure to direct. And getting to know him such, I told him, I look forward to when the show is over, just kind of hanging out and having a beer, but they're probably all sick of my voice right now. But I couldn't do this. It'd be remiss to not acknowledge and mention 2 key people for me. I've had an assistant for almost, I think, 7 productions now, named Tanya Ruth, who's a New York-based actress and director who's incredible. She's been like my eyes through so many productions. And another newbie on board named Chris King Wong, who was one of my stars of Farragut North and was a key production supporter of my successful production of God of Carnage. So he had worked with Jack, then Jack was in the play. So, you know, they say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, this is the Peter Allas village. And my production team with Matt Richter, Brad Bentz, Angelica Esteves, who's my stage manager. And of course, my illustrious executive producer, Adriano Aragon, who writes the checks.
What do you want the audience get out of Dinner with Friends?
Conversation. I want them to have a conversation after they see this play. And I don't care what that conversation is, but hopefully they'll have a cathartic experience coming to the theater. And most important of all, I think it's good that we talk. And this play is about really talk to me, you know, share with me. And I think that we're just so used to this now, which is really kind of irritating of don't call me, don't leave a message, just text me. Man, we're losing touch. We're losing touch with really talking and listening to each other. It's so, so important. I hope that this play will, it might stir up something, and that's okay. That's okay. Because if you want to just be safe, sit on your couch, put on Disney Plus, or I won't mention some other channels, and do that. But hopefully this will get conversations going. Certainly get bars and restaurants busy again. People will just go out and eat because they'll talk about the food. This play's about the foods.
This play was first produced in 1998. Why is Dinner with Friends so relevant today still?
Well, like I said, it's about really having a real conversation. I think we've come to a discord. It's been safe, and it's been going on for quite some time. This isn't just like, let's not blame COVID for this. Let's blame what's been happening. And I always say we got to look within. So maybe starting with my generation down, what have we done that allowed this younger generation, or even my generation, to continue to be like, hold this as the mighty God, this cell phone or these computers that we're on, and not say, no, I'd be happy to meet you. Let's sit and talk at a coffee shop. I mean, look, I grew up partly in Europe, and my other favorite joke is, why do you like Miami so much? Because it's so close to the United States. I tell everybody, because you're outdoors, you're intermingling, you're talking in cafes and things. And now that I'm back in LA, seeing what's happening, it exists, but I think we've lost some of what LA was like when I was here. We just all went in our little caves, and that's good for a short time to do some introspective work. But man, it's time we all just really get out there and interact with each other, express. Don't hold back for later what you should today.
What do you think that will surprise the theater audience watching Dinner with Friends play?
Well, it's been called a comedy, and I've been notoriously known for doing the reverse, taking a drama and making it funny, and a comedy and making it serious, because I don't think anything is linear in life. And I remember seeing this play. I don't really remember laughing hysterical at all, and I thought it was excellent. I think really good playwrights give you humor while they're giving you a little spoonful of medicine, or their sermon, if you will. I've worked a lot with John Patrick Shanley. I think he's brilliant at it. The guy that I chewed my teeth on as a young director was David Mamet, Lanford Wilson. Worked a lot under Mamet, and I think he's brilliant in that regard as well. Go back to the British. Harold Pinter finds ways to have that humor. Saw a wonderful production with almost no set with, I can't think of her name, but she's now I believe Tom Hiddleston's wife. Ashwa, forgive me. My apologies to that actress, but she was incredible. And Charlie Cox and Tom Hiddleston. And it was so simple. There was nothing, just like chairs. That's why I detest when actors say, I can't act. If there's nothing here to act, I go, that's no acting 101. You can act with a chair. So one of the things that my business partner and I teach at the ZA studio is you have to act with a chair. You never know if the other actors are going to be any good, what they're going to give you. It's your preparation is key. And I find that that's the key to any success. John Wooden said, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So that's a big part of it.
I love having the quote from John Wooden too. So.
Thank you. Thank you.
What do you like about this playwright's writing? Why is it to you such a unique, and also just why you love it?
Well, I should go back to that first question. What's different about our production too is that I have an African-American actor in the play playing a part that was written for such a traditional Connecticut, Americana-ish, if you will, ma'am, I'll leave it at that. And then I've got two actors of direct Latin and Greek descent and Jewish descent, and I think it works. This is a great example of how you can take a play. I said, as long as they look like they're successful, that they would live in Connecticut, why not? One of my dreams actually is I love A View from the Bridge by Arthur Miller, and I've always wished to direct it in Miami with a Cuban family, or in San Francisco or Seattle with an Asian family. There's plenty of docks where they work. So it's about opening your mind up, but not minimizing minorities by saying you got it for that reasons. Give everyone the best chance of getting the role. That's the secret. And then let the cream rise to the top. And I was fortunate. That's what I got with this production. I'm sorry, getting back to your main question was again?
The writer. Why do you like the writing, and why to you it's such a unique play?
Well, I mean, the obvious. I'm born and baptized Greek Orthodox and raised Jewish as well. So this obviously is a Jewish writer, but he has this sort of, if you want to call it, waspy feel to him. And every time I read I love, one of my favorites actually is Time Stands Still, which as an actor, I was up for actually in one of the roles. And then I really love Brooklyn Boy also, because I know this world. So when I read his plays, I wouldn't, believe me, this is the wrong way to phrase it, but I'll use it like this. There's a part of him that's a little bit of David Mamet light. For those that can't stomach Mamet, call him David Mamet light, if you will. But I hate categorizing any writer. They're all unique. To lump them in is to say, that's not fair. But there's something about the dialogue that caught my ear. So I'm a believer going way back when, from my days at Circle Repertory Company, when I was training under people like Sigourney Weaver and William Hurt and writers like John Bishop and Mamet, Rebecca and Lanford Wilson. Hear the music of the writer. The writer is, to me, the writer is a genius until proven otherwise. And I like to prove them otherwise sometimes. And there are some things I think are not perfect in this play, but for whatever reason, this is the final script. This is what we're dealt with, and I'm pleased with it. But I would have loved to have had probably more time to work with the writer and go back. But we'll save that for another play, another time. I'm still very, very pleased with what we have.
Why should or must the SoCal community attend the Dinner with Friends play at the Zephyr Theater?
Number one, because you'd be missing some phenomenal acting work. Number two, because the production is hardly ever done, and for a good reason. It was written to be on almost I would say 500 plus seat stage with a rotating stage with electricians and 6 grips to change the sets within 3 minutes, and major huge spaces for openness as opposed to walls for part of the scene, and then enclosure, other parts. So doing it at a Zephyr theater, a 99-seat theater, you're either going to love me or hate me, and that's okay. I think there's a commercial like that, isn't there? Where the guy goes, "You're going to love it, Larry," or something. So I think that's a big part of it, is just for the physical aspect of putting this play on. And I guess the audacity of my producer to say that I can do it. I'm not sure if he's a genius or if he's crazy for thinking I can pull this off. But again, I'm blessed with the crew to help me do this. And then the last reason is, I used to love Melrose Avenue. My revival of my directing career in LA was with a very successful nominated and winning play called Savage in Limbo that I did with quite a cast that all went on. I think only one actor didn't get a television series after we did it. And it's going back a number of years. So I got a special place in my heart for the Zephyr. And my mentor, a guy by the name of Milton Katselis, started his acting classes in that space way back when, I think in the early 70s or mid 70s. So there's a kind of a personal reason to support it, as well as the owner, Ronnie Momo and Markel Lerman, who I think have been wonderful theater supporters, producers along the way. And, you go there's great little cafes and restaurants right across the street that could use the business. Like I said, I think we've all just kind of went back in the cave. I want people to come back out. I'm a Chicago, New Yorker, Milanese, Greek, Cuban person that loves being outside on the street, interacting, watching people. And sometimes it's sad for me to see that we don't do that anymore, or at least not enough. Hi, my name is Peter Allas. I am the producer director of Dinner with Friends, which is done by Adriano Aragon, our executive producer, Foursome Productions, starring Jack ESFORMES, LEITH, BURKE, Amy MOTTA, and MARIEH DELFINO. And for Gross, my associate producer and casting director, Michael Donovan, with Richie Ferris. I think you got to come and see this play, Dinner with Friends, at the Zephyr Theater. It'll make you want to eat Italian food for sure. Probably even have a glass of wine, or for me personally, a good Italian Barolo or a nice, Tempranillo from Spain or a Malbec from Argentina. But the play deals with how we deal with each other, whatever kind of relationship you have. Please come and see it. Dinner with Friends, 7456 Melrose Avenue, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 8, Sundays at 2, running through April, hopefully till May. Thank you so much. See you at the theater.